Check. Hey, good morning, teams. If you don't have a sign that goes on front of your driver station, then the materials for making it are over at the northeast corner of the Red Alliance. And so you want to, at the very least, put your team number there. If you want our MC to know your robot name or your school, you can put that on there as well. But every team needs one of those, so may as well make it now.
Practice time will continue until 9:30. We are not queuing for the regular matches yet, but you can queue for the normal matches at 9:30.
Okay, folks, you know what? It's driver meeting time in 5 minutes. That means that the robots that are on the field need to leave the field. Our field reset crew is going to work on getting both sides ready to play. And we'll have a driver's meeting in 5 minutes. If you want to start queuing for match one, you're welcome to do that as well. Uh, 2898, you're all done. You can leave now. Thank you very much for your participation. Go away. Oh, hey everybody, knock it off. Robots off the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a rope name for your robot and you wish us to announce it, please come up here one at a time in an orderly line and give it to us, and we will write it down so we can announce it. Thank you very much.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hold on just a second. So if I could have all the members of the drive team and such down on the field, just kind of make a mob here, that would be awesome. And just find a place to sit that doesn't involve sitting on a ball. Okay. Okay, again, if you're on a drive team, you ought to be hanging out here on the ground. It looks surprisingly sparse. Okay. Well, welcome. My name's Dale Yoakum. I'm the engineering program director here at Catlin Gable. But today I'm just here to be of help to you folks. So if you're missing a part, if you're confused, or if you're in need of therapy, then I'm your guy. Just find me. I'll kind of be hanging around over here. So BunnyBots is really my favorite time of year because we get to build robots just for the pure joy of doing it, not because of some great trophy, not because that anybody really cares what happens here, but just because it's just cool. And so thank you for doing this. Thank you for being part of this experiment that's been going on for 12 years now here. So thanks a lot. So we started our team 15 years ago. This is our 15th anniversary. And for 12 years, we've been running BunnyBots. And we just started because it was a great way to get new members up to speed of how to make a robot. And then it just grew and took on a life of its own. But the end result is that, you know, the best way to learn how to make a robot is to make a robot. And that's what we're all about here. So what I want to do is go over really quickly the rules just to make sure we're all on the same page, and then we have a few other announcements. We'll talk about the schedule of the day, and then we'll get on to the important business of damaging mechanical parts. So the robots always start at with some portion of their bumper touching the back wall of your Alliance station. It doesn't matter what part. It could be a little tiny corner of your robot, but it has to start touching the back Alliance station. And you can rearrange the crates on your side of the field any way you want. The field reset crew will make sure that there's 15 crates on your side and 15 on the opposing side. If for some reason they get overwhelmed and they don't give you 15, just say something about it and we'll rearrange that. The balls will be generally evenly distributed around the field, but that doesn't mean that in one game there might not be more red balls and another game there might be more blue balls. We'll try to make it roughly even, but it's not always going to be completely fair because we don't want to take the time to count up these balls every time we run a new match. As you're bringing your robots out on the field, one, of course, be careful because there's 240 balls out here, and so we don't want you to become one with a carpet. But you can't strategically rearrange the balls as you bring your robot out. Sure, you might have to kick some aside in order to be safe or in order to have a place to put your robot against the back wall. But if the refs notice that you're kind of moving the ball carefully in order to make your auto even more awesome, then they'll just give it another kick and make sure that's not the case. So just don't do that. Each alliance also starts with 3 bunnies. There's a collection of bunnies underneath the driver stations on both sides. You can also bring your own bunny. The bunny should have a ribbon tied around its neck that's your color alliance. And there's a stack of ribbon on each side there. So if a bunny doesn't have a ribbon or it's got the wrong color, just cut off the ribbon and put on the right color. You don't have to use the bunnies if you don't want, but if you do, they can be preloaded on your robot, or they can be just resting on the field somewhere. They just can't be in contact with a crate. Okay, so there is no field control system here, so auto starts when you press the button on your driver station that says start auto, whatever it says. So the field system here will make a sound that obviously means start, and you press the button and away you go. If your auto has some sort of delayed response disorder, then be sure to let Joe know. Joe is waving at you right now. Joe is waving because he is your head ref. So he'll otherwise be watching the field and see if it looks like autos are largely done, because just watching a field with a bunch of dead robots is boring. He will blow his whistle, which he's going to blow right now, which means that auto just got done and now it's time for teleop. If Joe doesn't blow his whistle, then you'll hear the usual sound through the field control system after 15 seconds that teleop is over. And that's your opportunity to walk to your driver station and do your driver thing. Okay, so during auto, you get 20 points for every crate that your robot puts a ball in. Doesn't matter what color that ball is. It could be red, it could be blue. Hopefully there's nothing that's not red and blue into a crate. And the refs are going to be watching that. So there will be one ref assigned to your robot, and they're going to watch how many crates you get a ball into. If the ball goes into the crate and bounces out, it doesn't count. So the ball has to stay in there. At the end of auto, the refs are going to give you that many points, and you won't see it on the screen, but they're keeping track with their high-tech clipboards, and will get typed in. If a robot goes over the center line, it's very, very bad. So if a robot fully crosses over the center line, then that's a 20-point penalty. If you run into another robot over here, that's 20-point penalty in addition to that for every robot you run into. So it could get expensive real quick. Yeah? Is that during auto or teleop or both? During auto. Okay. So there are no sides during teleop. So during teleop, doesn't matter where you are, you can roam free across this entire field. Okay, so now we're here during teleop. The main thing is there's no ball hoarding. So the refs are going to be keeping a very close eye on robots that like to vacuum up mountains of balls. And if it's clear that you're holding on to your opponent balls for more than 15-ish seconds, then they're going to have a problem with that because we don't allow ball starvation strategies through this whole process. So the refs will kind of decide penalties on the fly depending on how egregious it is. It could be a red card, could be a yellow card, could be a slap on the wrist, could be 20-point penalties. They like to make stuff up. So the point is, don't do that. Some of you have robots perfectly capable of doing that. However, you've now been warned, don't do that. During the rest of the game, well, actually, at the end of the game, we're going to count up all of the crates that have the majority of one color ball or another. So if a crate had 2 red and 1 blue, well, red gets that crate. Red will get 10 points for that. If there was 50 red balls and 1 blue ball, there's still 10 points for red. It doesn't matter how many balls are in there. What matters is that that crate's been claimed by you. If there's so many balls of different colors that it's too confusing for the refs, they're not going to bother counting them. They're just going to say, we're not going to count that crate. So try to make it obvious. Okay, robots don't want to be going out of bounds. If you touch the field outside of the carpet, then you'll get a 20-point penalty. You need to be deactivated, moved back onto the field, and then reactivated. Pinning is the same as in normal FRC. If you're pinned against a wall, the ref's going to notice that, and they're going to point at it, like Joe's, like that. And you can be pinned for up to 5 seconds. After that, you get a 20-point penalty. If you clear in less than 5 seconds, you have to move away for at least 6 feet. The robot can scamper away, or if they're not, then why are you bothering to pin them? And you can go back and pin them again if you want. We don't have high-speed ramming penalties here, so it's a one-day event. If you want to high-speed ram one another, you just go wild about that. At the end, robots and crates can be any place on the field. So we don't care where the crates are. A blue crate could be over there, a blue crate could be over there. We're just going to line them all up on the midline at the end of this and count them up, and away we go. So crates have to be fully supporting the ball. So that doesn't mean the ball has to be inside of the crate. You could have a crate upside down with the ball sitting on top of it. It still counts. It has to just fully support the ball. The crate could be on its side, and that's just fine. But the refs are going to count them up at the end. If a crate has a bunny that it's fully supporting, then it doesn't matter what the ball situation is. There could be a whole bunch of balls of one color. The bunny, by virtue of its colored ribbon, is the one that's going to determine what the value of that crate is. But you know, you can knock the bunny off during the match. It's just all that matters as far as the scoring is what the state of the course is at the end of the match. And I think that's it. So I'm open to questions.
When you say that you're enabling, like you can enable teleop early based on like the thing, are we enabling it in autonomous mode and then later enabling it in teleop, or doing it in practice mode?
Yeah, so there is no field control system here. So this is just like you're driving around in your lab. So you'll start auto manually, and at the end of auto, either because the field control system here made the Tristan, is the sound ding, ding, ding at the end of auto? Yeah, so it goes ding, ding, ding at the end of auto. At that point, you run up to your driver station, you put it into teleop, and you drive it around. If you hear Joe's whistle, then you do the same thing. Other questions?
Does teleop happen right after autonomous, or is there waiting time in between?
Yeah, so it happens right after. So as soon as you hear the ding, ding, ding or Joe's whistle, then you're right into teleop.
Would it be considered a starvation strategy if you were to put a huge amount of your opponent's balls into one crate?
As long as you do it quickly. So if you had a whole bunch of balls and within 15 seconds you stuck them in an opponent's crate, that's fine. But if you're going to drive around for 2 minutes and then put them in a crate, no, the refs aren't going to like that. I'm not going to walk there. Please disable auto if it's getting messed up. Also, please don't dig a hole in our carpet. We've had other robots that were very good at getting stalled out against something. They'll sit there and dig a hole hoping that somehow a miracle would happen and their robot would continue to run. Well, don't do that because there's a $30,000 gym floor underneath this and we don't really want to go explore what refinishing costs are like.
What do penalties for launching field elements out of the field look like?
Yeah, so that would be 20 points for intentionally launching a field element outside of the course, and more if the refs think that that's not enough. So, like if you went around, vacuumed up all the red balls, and then decided, let's expel them out of the course, which would be an incredibly clever strategy were it not illegal, the refs would no doubt give you a red card. Anybody else? Okay. Next on the hit parade is queuing. So Tyler and Jackson over there are waving. They are your queue people. And so when your robot's ready to play, nobody's going to send you an engraved invitation. You just have to get in line. And so, Tyler, where will they get in line down there? Yeah, and so Tyler and Jackson will ask you to very graciously and professionally find a box and put your robot there. As soon as they have 8 robots, then Tyler's going to ask you to draw out of the magic cup, and you'll find red, blue, and yellow Lego pieces. Red means you're going to be on the Red Alliance. Blue means on the Blue Alliance. Yellow means you get to sit out this match, but you have first dibs on the next match. And so the reason we do that is so we don't have the same teams going round and round and round playing each other over and over and over all day long. So yellow is kind of a bummer, but hopefully it's random and hopefully it doesn't happen to you too often. But that's the way we kind of mix things up. So as soon as you have the red and blue and Tyler's satisfied with that, he's going to write down all the team numbers on that clipboard. He's going to send you to the queuing boxes, which are where, Tyler? Yeah, so blue's going to be down there, red's going to be down here. His mission in life is to keep those boxes always filled. And your mission in life is to have your robot working well enough that you can keep those boxes always filled. As soon as the game here is over, we've had problems with teams kind of waiting for somebody to tell them to go on the field. As soon as it's clear, I guess, that Joe has given the scores back to Tristan, who's waving his hand, then you're free to go on the field. The teams that are on the field should exit as soon as they can. You want to put your robot carts probably on this side of the field. So after you've loaded on, have somebody bring it all the way around and keep your robot carts over there, I guess, so that you can exit the field promptly. At that point, you could decide, hey, I'm good to go. I'm going to go back in the queue, or, well, that match wasn't so great. I'm going to go back to the pit and make it so that it'll work this time. So that's kind of your goal. So ranking at the end of this is different than FRC. FRC has these great, enormous formulas for calculating all of this. Here it's pretty simple. If you win the match, you get your number of points plus half of the loser's number of points. If you're the loser, you just get the loser's points. If there's a tie, then you both get the same amount of points. And we're just going to tally those up, and at the end of the day, you'll see the rankings. They're scrolling out in the gym lobby there. That determines the ranking. So a few things about that. Think carefully before you want to completely blow out a match that you know you're going to win. Because if you just go around, let's say, dumping all the crates of your opponents, even though you know you're going to win this match, you're just giving away points because you're going to get half of those points, as part of your final score. So it's not all about winning the game. It's about carefully managing the points that you're going to accumulate. Okay, any questions about any of that? Okay, yeah.
How do you get to the blue queue? Is it going to be cleared out back there, or do you want to go around the other way?
No, yeah, good point. So, yeah, all robots always go, what is this, counterclockwise around the gym? So you're always going to exit there. There won't be people hanging around back there in normal practice, and then you'd get over there to the blue queue. Okay, so the schedule of the day, as soon as we're done here, we're going to break. We'll load on the first teams. We'll start playing. At noon, we'll break for an hour. They'll be selling pizza in the lobby of the gym. At 1 o'clock, we'll start back up again. And then at 3 o'clock, or as very close as we can hit 3 o'clock, we'll stop, and whoever's the top 4 teams will be the alliance captains. Each alliance is going to pick 3 alliance members, not just 2, because that other robot is your backup robot, but you don't really think of it like that. All 4 teams are your alliance, and you can decide which teams you want to play in any match. If a robot's broken, then that's why you have 4 robots. There are no timeouts during eliminations, and so you want to pick your robots carefully. That means that scouting is pretty important. I mean, it's easy to pick the first robot, gets harder to pick the next and then harder still to pick the last. So scouting is pretty important. And when you're scouting a team, make sure that they're actually going to be functional at the for the elimination. Sometimes we've had teams pick teams that were awesome at noon and then something broke. So you want to make sure that they're still working. Okay. I'd ask you not to bring food or anything other than water into the pit area. You're welcome to have it in here, or hopefully it's not raining outside or whatever. But we have kind of a surprisingly fragile floor on the tennis courts, and we've had teams spill over soft drinks, and the acid eats through the floor, which doesn't say miracles for what happens to your stomach, but you want to not bring those things or other food into the pit area. Okay, and with that, Tyler, besides being an awesome cube manager, was also the manager of Leap this year, and we would like your help in figuring out the direction for Leap in the future. So take it away, Tyler.
Yeah, so we are doing something that I don't think we've ever done at BunnyBots before, but we are hosting a raffle in which anybody can win some fabulous prizes. I think we have gift card, yeah.
For Amazon, $25.
A $25 gift card for Amazon. We have Dean Kamen's signature. I know that's pretty exciting. I actually donated that one. And we also have as many crates as you want for all of your purposes. So.
And racquetballs.
And racquetballs, sure. So anything goes for that. But in order to qualify for this raffle, you have to fill out a survey on our website. So Linking Engineering and Philanthropy is a competition that we've run for 3 years. And it's a competition designed for students to apply their engineering skills to real-world problems. So rather than focusing on building robots for a competition, you build things that solve humanitarian problems, that solve environmental issues. And basically, it's using our skills to change the world. We last held our 2018 LEAP competition at Mercy Corps this last weekend, and we are working with them again for next year. And so we want your input on how long the Linking Engineering and Philanthropy competition should be, and all sorts of details on that. You can find this survey and be qualified for the raffle by going onto our website, team1540.org. And then going to the LEAP page, which is under Fall Events. You can also just go straight there by going to 1540.org/LEAP. And the survey will be the first link up there. We'll publish it in just a few minutes. But in order to be qualified, you should write some comments, because if you don't write any comments, then we won't really take your raffle contribution seriously.
Okay, also while we're talking about the website, we are live streaming right now, and so that's team1540.org/BunnyBots. There will be a button, there's a button now, right, Tyler or Tristan? Oh, okay, so on the homepage, team1540.org, there's a button for the live stream. So if you have friends and relatives that are really bored, they can watch the live stream. So I've got a couple of people that I want to introduce. First is Joe de Blasio, who is your head ref, and Joe's a founding member of Team 1540. We founded this team in 2005, and he was president in 2007, and has gone on to have an interesting life. So I'll ask him to just tell a little bit about what's going on, and then we'll have our other star to talk about today.
So I will briefly talk about myself, which is uncomfortable, but I'm also going to steal this time to say one thing about reffing first, which is as soon as the match ends, everyone disable their robot, very first thing, nice and safe. The refs are going to do their thing. As soon as you see us do this, you can come clear the robots. So that's the key take-home message there, is keep things safe as fast as you can, but also leave your robot until we're done reffing. Thank you. Okay, so this is a very strange thing. I now work for Google on Chrome security. So some of you, I suspect, use a product that I spend some time on. Before that, I recently finished a PhD in computer science and computer security. You should do engineering because it's cool, and then you can spend an obscene number of years in school. But then you get cool jobs too. So I don't know.
Thank you, Joe. And he's been doing the head ref job for BunnyBots ever since it's existed without fail. He just flew up from the Bay Area just to do this. So thank you, Joe. And the other person is your MC for today. Her name is Marina Dimitrov. And she is a grad student at Stanford right now. She was National Dean's List winner in 2000, what does it say? 12, it says there. And so she'll say a few words, and you'll be hearing lots from her today.
Oh, good. Hi, everyone. This is always a fun time to come back and have our little alumni reunion and see all of you new, bright, excited people making robots. So this is always a fun time to come and make a fool of myself in front of hundreds of people. So I appreciate that. Yeah, 1540 was a really great experience for me in FRC, and I kept doing engineering, as Joe said, spending an obscene amount of time in school. My undergrad degree is in biomechanical engineering, so basically I like animals and robots. I'm part of a maker space that we had a holiday party, and I made this cute snowflake. Here, just a second. If this will interfere with your autonomous, let me know. And it has little capacitive sensors. When you touch it, it turns colors. Important life things you can do with an engineering education. So that's about all it for me. I have this poem, but I'm not sure if I should read it now, or do we have other things?
You may have time to fill in the middle of this. So.
Okay, well, it's kind of like a beginning hello. Okay, so I wrote this poem when I was a sophomore here in 2011, and I remembered I wrote it, and I found it off of Facebook and updated a little bit. So here's like a welcome to Holiday BunnyBots. Okay. 'Twas the night before BunnyBots, when all through the lab, not a robot was stirring, no member of Fab. The bunnies were stacked by the field with great care, in fear that the robots would soon be there. The robots were nestled all snug in their pits, while programs for milk crates lay dormant in bits. When outside the lab there arose such a clatter, I sprang up this morning to see what was the matter, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but legions of geeks with all of their gear. They sprang to the field, and the ref gave a whistle. It's very loud, don't do it. In expectation of racquetball missiles. The robots are ready, some finished today. Happy BunnyBots to all, and let's get ready to play.
Yeah, so we would very much like to know your robot name if you have one, because it makes the game announcer's job all the more fun. And if you talk to our two game announcers here, they will be happy to receive those. Any other little tidbits about your robot, they'd probably like to know those too, because they have lots of time to fill. Yeah, or they'll just make stuff up. So, and Laura May is waving. She is the head of our field reset crew. And Laura May, do you still need a volunteer or two? Yeah, so she would love one more person that can't think of anything more fun than to move racquetballs and crates around all day long. So find her. And with that, let's clear the field. Let's get the robots loaded, and away we go.
hello, hello. Yay. Friends, hi friends, please if you have team number signs, put them in your little things so I don't embarrass myself and say the wrong thing. Well, I'm probably going to embarrass myself anyway, but it would be nice for you if I said the correct team number. Thank you.
Teams should all have have a sheet in front of their robot that has their team number at the very least, and ideally their team name or their robot name or something like that. I see that the Lake Monsters do not have such a thing and would like one.
Alrighty, we're gonna get started with our first match of the day. How's it going? On the Red Alliance, we have 40-43. Sorry, we're still. That's you guys. Then you say their name. Sorry, AV issues. Okay. 40-43.
Turn with their robot Nemo.
Okay, joining them on the Red Alliance is 2374.
We've got the Crusader bots.
And rounding out the Red Alliance is 1432.
The Metal Beavers.
I shouldn't run because I'll sprain my ankle again. Okay, on the Blue Alliance, we have Team 2471.
Meat Machine with their robot Spicy Boy.
And joining them is 2635.
Monsters.
Rounding out the Blue Alliance for our first match is 3674.
The Cloverbots.
All right, in that case, Red Alliance, are you ready? Whoa! Blue Alliance, are you ready? Yay! Refs are ready? All right, then we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go!
And the autos are off on their way. We have some robots moving around the field. One of them seems to have collected a couple of crates. 3674 seems to have some arm. Seems to be doing what it's supposed to be. Yeah. And into teleop now. 1432 spinning around, going to get those racket balls. What else is? I don't know what's happening. $23.74, looking like they're seem to might maybe have a ball stuck in their drivetrain. Not totally sure. What? No. 30 seconds. 3674 has another crate.